It's a fairly wide cat. It's Tuesday, I don't know, late afternoon. It looks like the cover's still fine, but I'm going to put thick cardboard on the inside. Should stop the wind moving the clear cover so much, but also when we start sanding the recess, keep most of the rubbish from getting blown through the cabin. I have some implements of destruction to help clear all the old sealant out. Finally got a replacement Ethernet gateway. And we'll put cardboard with plastic on it on the inside. Cut the light down unfortunately, but should reduce the chance of getting water inside. Well, that's one up. The easy one to reach. That one I have to stand on top of the galley. We're trimmed up the side. And there's me standing on the galley. So I don't expect it to keep out water because that's the outside cover's job, but it should mean the outside cover's not sucked in and blown out so much, and should stop all the dust and stuff from dealing with the recess from getting into the cabin. I hope so, because it's taken a while to do. Well, the cold damp conditions haven't done wonders for my blocking. It was really windy and heavy rain from the east yesterday. Today is supposed to be a bit windy but mostly fine, and tomorrow is supposed to be terrible. Heavy rain from the northeast. So I've put tape on the recess to the plastic inside. Main reason is to stop all the stuff we're going to make from falling inside, but it may also help keep water out. Salty old sea dog is helping as usual. Now it's a case of finding which implement of destruction is going to remove the last of the sealant. Well, that's the wire brush. Seems to work fairly well. We'll try the sanding next. The wire brush is a bit more controllable. Don't worry about the bare wood, we'll just put epoxy on it. Multi-tool not really working because the stuff's just too flexible. Try the mini belt sander next. Well, it looks like the winner's going to be the wire brush. Not too bad a job. I'll need a hand sand and some epoxy. Don't want epoxy over the sealant. Oh well, pretty good. We just have to repeat ad nauseum all the way around the window. Well, that's that window recess wire brushed. I'll set Salty Old Sea Dog onto the sandpaper. Oh, it just needs to be hand sanded now, and it's lunchtime. Well, after a lot of sanding, it's had a wipe down with alcohol, put some masking on, and some epoxy. Good, now we need some epoxy, then that can go off before we get the rain tomorrow. Right, coat of epoxy Now these two holes I've put in to allow a little bit of circulation in the dead space in the window acrylic between the two openings. There's those vent holes from the inside. Hopefully that'll keep the rain out tomorrow when the weather's supposed to be terrible. Well, I've had Grandad removing the old frit or painted border off the window, so the new system has a primer which acts as a frit on the inside, and we'll paint a new one on the outside. I'm just sanding the centre bit because there will be a new priming rim and then the black paint like before. This section will be painted matte black, and I have plastic adhesion promoter, which certainly worked last time. Right, from reading the data sheet, it's mostly thinners, so I'll let that flash off, and then a coat of matte black. I'll tell a lie, it's satin black. So the adhesion promoter is starting to flash off. There we go, satin black. Well, gloss still because it's not dry. Now we need to get the adhesive off the edges. So the new strip of paint to protect from the UV, as I understand it called a frit, will be going on the outside of the window around the edge this time. Right, tape trimmed, needs a sand. Okay, edges are sanded, alcohol wipe, plastic adhesion promoter. Okay, masked up. Now black paint, starting to get late, but Salty Old Sea Dog and I are boxing on.
Colour scheme.
Yep, black border, white foam and green masking tape. Right, I think lock the boat up and go home. Salty Old Sea Dog has arrived just before me, so he gets the job of opening the gate. Looks like he's offering to close it as well. Oh, it won't look a gift horse in the mouth. It's pretty windy, going to get windier. We've had a few wee skiffs of rain, but hopefully it will hold off until lunchtime, because I have a plan. We'll see whether it actually works though. All comes to fruition. Yesterday's paint seems to be alright. I'm going to try and get the window in position before the storm. Won't be bonded in though, so we'll use Scotch-Brite and water to clean the amine, flush off the epoxy. Okay. So I've masked around the UV protected border that we sprayed last thing yesterday. We'll take the central masking off. Now we're going to sand the paint off the edge that got on yesterday. Now we're masked for the primer, but I'm actually going to put another layer of tape around the edge so that can be the first to come off when the sealant goes on. So the dark green tape will get pulled first, and it has to be done when it's fresh, so there'll be sealant wafting around, and the yellowy green will protect the window and get pulled second, or even sometime later. Well, here comes the rain, so we're racing. Window's in place, we'll just stick it down with tape and drop the cover back down. Well, we've got it taped in place, put the cover back, call it, that's all we can do. On the race against the rain, I think the team has done it. I think it might be lunchtime. Oh, the rain is still reasonably light. It's pretty windy out there. We're sheltered here as it's nor'easter. So it's coming over the hill from behind me. So we might as well make a start on the rudder. Oh, we'll see if this will plane off the anti-fouling. So it's got carbide blades on the bottom and on the sides, and it fell over. Well, we're getting there. Well, surprisingly, nothing seems to be wet in there, so we'll open it up and let it dry anyway. While it's out, we might look at improving the trailing edge. It's pretty thick at the moment. Oh well, it is a little bit damp in places. Well, I'll call it slightly damp in places, but certainly no rot. We'll do a bit more sanding, turn it over, check the other side, deal to the trailing edge, and then let it dry for a while. I think that will do for this side at the moment. Back to glass on the trailing edge to build it up a bit, feather it out a bit. The timber's all solid. So no sign of trouble on this side. So we've got plenty of bare wood underneath and on the end grain. I'll leave it be for a while to dry. And then re-glass it. Should be a very straightforward repair.